Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Chris Flaherty and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, and Maddie Shipka with Community Calendar. Thank you for joining us. A Burlington woman who was found guilty of second-degree murder of an infant has had her conviction reduced to manslaughter and may leave prison earlier than originally expected. Middlesex Superior Court Judge Kenneth Fishman reduced the conviction of Pallavi Machala, 44, who had been found guilty last May in the March 2014 death of a 6-month-old Redima Dekane who died while in the defendant's care. Reduced it to manslaughter. Judge Fishman called the second-degree murder conviction handed down by a jury was not consonant with justice. He cited conflicting theories put forward by different medical experts during the 4-week trial that ended with Machala being sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. On March 27, 2014, the victim was left in the care of a neighbor, Machala, who regularly provided child care for the baby. At approximately 2:40 p.m., Machala called the baby's mother to say Redima was not responsive. The infant was rushed to the hospital but died 3 days later. As reported by BNews, multiple medical experts testified in the case, including Dr. Anna McDonald, who performed the autopsy on the 6-month-old, and initially determined the baby died from abusive head trauma and excessive shaking, but who later said she was no longer convinced that death was a homicide. In 2016, she said that after reviewing reports from the defense, she came to believe the child died from cardiac arrest. While other medical experts disagreed with McDonald's new opinion, Judge Fishman said the disagreement of experts made it impossible to justify the second-degree murder conviction. During her trial, Machala contended the baby stopped breathing after being fed homemade applesauce prepared by the victim's mother. She said she tried to do everything she could to save the baby's life. Judge Fishman agreed that he did not believe Machala intentionally harmed the infant, noting that she was seen giving the child medical attention, but still denied a motion to acquit the case entirely. A new sentencing date has been scheduled for September 27th. Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan's office told the Boston Globe they are still reviewing the decision and did not have a comment at this time. The Burlington Fire Department extinguished a small basement fire at a Sarah Street residence on Monday morning. Assistant Fire Chief Mike Patterson said the department received a call for a fire alarm going off in the residence. When firefighters arrived, they could see smoke coming from an open door at the front of the house. The Engine 1 crew went to investigate and found a small fire in the basement. Papers on a desk were in flames. Patterson said the homeowner had tried to smother the fire and had removed some burning materials in a plastic bucket to outside the home. His efforts were, as Patterson noted, partially effective, but did not fully contain the fire. The crew doused the fire with a water can. They also set up a fan to help ventilate the home and remove the smoke. Chief Patterson said it was fortunate the residents had a good working smoke detector in the area of the basement because there was potential for the fire to spread and become more serious. Finally, Chief Patterson said it appears the fire was caused by a small electrical device. As you know, Burlington Fire Chief Steve Yetman is hanging up his uniform and heading out on retirement at the end of this month. On Thursday, there was a celebration of his career at the Fire Station 2. BNews Director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
Burlington's new Fire Station 2 was filled with firefighters, town officials, both current and retired, members of the police department, and a myriad of friends on Thursday to wish Fire Chief Steve Yetman a fond farewell as he heads out on retirement. The 42-year veteran of the department had his praises sung by current and former colleagues in the town and was bestowed with a number of parting gifts. There were also many who were happy to talk about his career and his accomplishments.
So we're here to wish Chief Yetman a happy, healthy retirement, well-deserved rest. He has been a very productive chief while we've been here. Under his leadership, we have built a new fire station. We are advancing to the advanced life support on the ambulance division. So we were very grateful.
It's been a real pleasure to create a partnership with Chief Yetman and work with the Burlington Fire Department. They've made great strides during the time that I've been here, that we've worked together. It's a great community that he's established with our seniors, with our residents. People are comfortable when they approach him, and it's good for us. It's good for Burlington.
On a personal note, I'm going to miss him. He's become a good friend over the last almost 10 years. From a professional level, Stevie was always there when I called him. He had a great sense of humor, didn't take himself too seriously. Any questions, coming as an outsider in the town that I had, he was always quick to help me answer, and I'm going to miss him. He was an excellent partner, and that's the way I look at him, a partner in public safety.
What can I say? Chief Yetman is a consummate professional. On behalf of the Board of Selectmen and the residents, it's great to thank him for his 42 years of dedicated service to the town. But more importantly, from my standpoint, Chief's been a great friend to me over the years. He's become part of my life. I've seen him just about every day over the past 14 years, 15 years I've been with the town, and I'm going to miss that part as much as I'm going to miss his professional leadership of the department.
One person who has worked closely with Chief Yetman is Assistant Chief Mike Patterson, who has been working with Yetman since he started in the department 31 years ago, and side by side with him for the last 9 years in their leadership roles.
It's been a pleasure working with him. Like I said, I think we've accomplished a lot in those 9 years. Is evident by this building, is evident by increased staffing, and now finally going to the paramedic ambulance level. So we've made some accomplishments along the road with the help of the town and the help of our firefighters. It's been a good ride.
Along with his accomplishments, people had a lot to say about Chief Yetman as a person and a friend.
I think he's a very understanding person. He approaches things very methodically. He's very calm. He has been really nice to work for and work with.
Yeah, you know what? I had the privilege of spending my entire 30-year career working side by side with Steve. Actually worked with him on the ambulance and the engine, and then watched him go up the ladder to lieutenant and eventually assistant chief, and then into the chief's office. So it was a real privilege for me to have spent so much time with him. I consider him a great guy and a personal friend, and I wish him so much happiness and for a long and lengthy retirement.
Steve is a friend. I mean, you have people in town that you can talk to. If there are issues that you need to discuss, you can come to him. He'll talk about issues, especially those that involve seniors, those that involve the budget too, the state budget when we have needs. We've always been able to talk and work together, and I'm going to miss Steve.
He's just a good guy, and I really do appreciate everything done for this town. Hopefully the next guy coming in can do just as well, if not better. So that's what we're hoping for.
So what about the retiree himself? How was he feeling?
It's a combination of emotions. It's bittersweet. I'm looking forward to it, but I've done this I'm in my 42nd year, and to go from 100 miles an hour to 0 is going to be a challenge. But I've enjoyed basically every minute I've done this. I mean, the town of Burlington has given me an opportunity to do the job that I always wanted to do and that I love.
And what will he miss the most?
Probably everything. I mean, the guy's number one. The ability to make a change, to make things better. I mean, that's I've obviously started in 1978 and I came up through the ranks, but I mean, as chief, it's the ability to keep the place running well. And I mean, again, not everything's perfect, but to keep it running well and to make changes to make the department better. I mean, that's any chief's goal.
And finally, what is he looking forward to?
Looking forward to time off. I'm looking forward to not hearing calls in the middle of the night because the radio has not been off since 1978. I'm looking forward to not having a phone on my nightstand. Bunch of stuff like that.
From Fire Station 2, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford wishing Chief Yetman a happy, healthy retirement.
One more item from Thursday's retirement party. As reported on BNews, Assistant Chief Mike Patterson has been named interim chief until a new permanent chief is appointed. BNews Director Rich Hosford asked about his new role, and this is what he had to say about it.
I mean, I've always been the second in charge guy, so I get named the interim chief. So now, the buck stops with me now. So, obviously that's going to be a different feeling. As an assistant chief or a second in command, you always had a security blanket of having someone above you, but those days are over. So the security blanket is gone, and hopefully I won't screw up things too much.
You can also watch a full BNews special we did with Chief Yetman about his 42-year career here in Burlington. You can find that on our website at bcattv.org. In other retirement news, the Burlington Police Department is wishing one of its own all the best after a long career. With over 33 years of service to BPD in the books, we congratulate Charlie Ferguson on his retirement. A post from the Burlington Police Patrolmen's Association on Facebook reads, "Though he is retiring from the line of duty, Officer Ferguson isn't going far." At the last Board of Selectmen meeting, Town Administrator Paul Sagarino, at the request of Police Chief Michael Kent, appointed Ferguson as a special police officer for the town of Burlington. Board Chairman Joe Morandi thanked him for his service. Mr. Ferguson has been a great role model in the Burlington Police Department, he said. He's been there for over 30 years. I want to say thank you to him. A new face is joining the ranks of the Marshall Simons Middle School. Jennifer Chen Fine has filled a second assistant principal position, which was left vacant during last school year due to budgetary reasons. BNews reporter Chris Flaherty went to meet with her and has this report.
As the new school year approaches, there's a new face over at Marshall Simons Middle School. Jennifer Chen Fine has taken the second assistant principal position, which had been vacant the past year due to budgetary reasons. Prior to her arrival in Burlington, Chen Fine taught in Newton and New York City, and recently graduated from the Harvard Graduate School of Education with her master's in school leadership.
I actually entered the education profession with an eye towards administration. And the reason is because when I was a kid, I was the first child of parents who were immigrants to the US, and I felt significantly different than a lot of my classmates. It was hard for me to fit in socially in elementary school. And in middle school, there was a teacher who helped me make some friends and learn those social skills. And actually in high school, I had a work-study job with an assistant principal, and she really showed me what it was like to work with totally different kinds of kids in the same public school that I had gone to, opened my eyes to how many different people went to my school, and showed me what a positive influence she could have. And so when I was in college, I decided I wanted to enter education and become a teacher so that I could one day make this move into school leadership. And so I'm so excited to be here now, and Burlington has been such a welcoming place to be the beginning of my new career. Everyone has been so welcoming, from the building custodial and secretary staff to the parents I've met already. And I was so excited to meet some of the 8th grade student leaders yesterday. We're training and getting ready for the incoming 6th graders to come in a few days.
With a new school year starting soon, Chen Fine is focusing on building relationships within the Marshall Simons community.
As I'm new to this school, and I can tell that this is a community that really is compassionate and cares about getting to know everyone, that's really important to me as well. And so I'm really focusing on building relationships, getting to know the students, the faculty, the community members and family members, trying to listen and learn from everyone so that I can think about how best to elevate their voices and how we can work together to make sure that all of our students are getting an excellent education.
Finally, Chen Fine expressed her excitement to be a part of the MSMS administration team and to meet the incoming students she will oversee as assistant principal.
I'm just so excited to meet all the kids. I'm excited to start working together and think about what mark are we each going to make individually at MSMS, and how are we going to bring our voices into the greater world. I'm really, really passionate about public education because I believe that all students deserve an opportunity for an equal and an equitable and excellent education.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
The Burlington School Department will soon have an English language learner coordinator to help address the growing need of students in the district who have language other than English as their primary language. Superintendent Eric Conti said that for now, this will not be a new position in the district, as they will hire from within the district and shift responsibilities around. He said the change will require moving someone from a Unit A position with 187 days a year to a Unit D position with 200 days per year required. He also did say, however, that there may be a need for an additional position in the future if the student population of English learners continues to grow. Assistant Superintendent Patrick Larkin explained how the growth in the population has led to the need for a coordinator to both meet state recommendations and the needs of students. He said in 2013, the percent of students categorized as L was 2.4%, and that this year it is 5%. He further said that at the time there were 3 L teachers for the elementary schools and 1 person who moved between the middle school and the high school. Now, based on the student population, there are 2 L teachers at Francis Wyman, 2 at Pine Glen, 2 at Memorial, 1 at Fox Hill, 2 in the middle school, and 2 at Burlington High School. He also said that the state requirements regarding L students have tightened recently, and this would help the district stay up with the goals of the Department of Education while also benefiting the students. The school committee voted in favor of creating the L coordinator position. With the new school year about to begin, we have posted some safety tips for students and parents to our website to help them ensure everyone has a safe and healthy year. These tips were provided by the Middlesex District Attorney, Marion Ryan, who wanted to highlight potential dangers for students in getting to school, dealing with bullying and online threats. She said that with more than 233,000 children in Middlesex County beginning or returning to school, children are bound to confront a series of new challenges and unfamiliar experiences. She is urging parents to take a few minutes to talk about safety with their child, from safely traveling to and from school to being safe on the internet. The safety tips can be found on our website at bcattv.org/bnews. The Burlington Board of Assessors said in a statement posted to the town website that they have calculated and updated assessments for residential and commercial properties in town. These values, they said, are based on full and fair cash value, or the amounts a willing buyer would pay a willing seller on the open market. Assessors must collect, record, and analyze information about property and market characteristics in order to estimate the fair market value in the community. These new values were developed by the assessors to reflect current market conditions based on 2018 sales and other market data. A revaluation is not just a statistical average increase. Rather, individual properties may increase at different percentages based on many factors such as style, location, condition, as well as other amenities. The following is the percentage increase for each major class of property. Residential 13.07%, commercial 12.39%, industrial 10.71%, and personal property 9.84%. The Department of Revenue has reviewed all procedures, schedules, and values submitted. Assistant Assessor, Town Appraiser James Doherty said preliminary certification of the proposed values has been received from the Department of Revenue, and they acknowledge that the town has complied with all of the guidelines. Property value cards may be reviewed in the assessor's office. Errors discovered in the descriptive details of a property should be brought to the attention of the assessors. It's important to note that though values may be up 13.7%, that does not mean that is reflected in your overall tax rate or your overall taxation, as the tax rate will fall in correspondence to what the increase in the values are. There is also an appeal process before the Board of Assessors if you feel it is necessary to do so. Burlington's ban on single-use plastic bags goes into effect on September 10. This bylaw will require retail establishments to provide reusable bags or recyclable paper bags to customers. BNEWS asked Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce President Rick Parker about how the BACC is preparing their members. He said they've been communicating with members both through their newsletter and website, and they're working with the town to try and make sure people are informed. Parker noted that the letter sent out to businesses by Town Administrator Paul Sagarino. I can't really speak for the town, what the town has done and their ability to reach out to all the businesses in town, he explained. So I don't know what the breadth of their notification process has been other than sending a letter out. The BACC president said he hopes that there has been enough publicity on the ban to ensure all businesses will be in compliance with the bylaw. As for supermarkets, the biggest users of plastic bags, Parker said they are ready to go and are fully on board. He explained this is one of those things that's happening in a lot of communities, and the larger supermarkets have already dealt with it in other locations. There should be no chance for them to have any issues. As for local businesses being in compliance by the due date, Parker noted the bylaw has some leeway in regards to smaller operations and that they can get an extension if needed. Though August is ending, the fall weather is still a ways off. BNews weatherman Peter Brown has all the details in the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in and around Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. And I know it's very hard to believe, but our next 7 days include the start of September. I know it's really hard to believe that the end of meteorological summer has already gotten here. That summer really flew by. But starting out our period, though, here as we round out August, look at this. We're going to see temperatures that are going to be really beautiful, very similar to what we saw over the past week or so. Some just really beautiful conditions out there as we start our period out. Temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 70s, right where they should be for this time of the year. And of course, if you're going to be out and about in town or at all around Burlington, going out shopping, going out to eat, you're going to have some very pleasant conditions at night as well. So nothing quite as cool as we saw the past few nights. We saw a couple of nights this past week that were down in the mid and upper 40s. So that's definitely a sign that fall is coming just around the bend. As we round out our period, I know, hard to believe, getting to the middle of the first week of September, our average highs at this time of the year should be in the mid-70s, and we actually may see some temperatures that are actually quite a bit warmer than that as we head into the end of the period. So summer is certainly not done yet. Of course, so the one thing that you do notice, the days are definitely getting shorter as we head towards the fall equinox. Now, as we go ahead, we're going to take a look at some of the temperatures and precip outlooks for the next 7 to 10 days here in the Burlington area. And we're going to be seeing pretty much what we've been seeing for most of the summer coming up. Now, right here in our neck of the woods, right here in southern New England, we're actually expecting temperatures to be maybe above average, and that's going to be reflected when we see the 7-day forecast towards the end of the period. Now, if you're going to be traveling down south down here, might not be quite as warm down there. They're going to be having some pretty nasty weather as we head into Labor Day down in the Florida area. So if you're heading down there for your Labor Day weekend, you might want to rethink those plans. Now, if you're going anywhere out in the center of the country, look at this. Looks like a big chance of some below average temperatures, but doesn't look like that's going to be affecting us anytime soon here in the Burlington area. As we go ahead, we're going to take a look at what our chances for rain are coming up for the next 7 to 10 days. And again, this is going to be in our area. Looks like we're expecting a chance of above average precipitation. Now that's combined with what we saw from the remains of what was once Tropical Storm Erin that came through the Burlington area. And this is also going to be reflected in what might be left of Hurricane Dorian after it hits Florida around Labor Day. So we're going to have to see if that brings us some heavy moisture as we get into the end of our period. But of course, if you're going to be traveling out to the Midwest at all, looks like it's going to be pretty dry. If you're heading out west, looks like it's going to be pretty average for this time of the year. Now, as we go ahead, let's take a look at some of those temps and weather coming up for the next 7 days. And this does include the all-important unofficial end to summer, the Labor Day weekend. Again, starting out on Thursday, we're going to be seeing those leftover rain showers that were going by us from the remains of Tropical Storm Erin. So that might bring us some spotty showers early in the morning, but then clearing skies and temperatures really beautiful, only in the upper 70s. So a real nice day. Now, look at this going into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Beautiful conditions out there. Absolutely gorgeous. Wall-to-wall sunshine, maybe a few fair weather clouds, and temperatures in the low to mid 80s. So a little bit warmer for this time of the year, but just perfect if you're heading out to the beach or to the lake for that last time this summer. Now, as we head into the end of the weekend, getting into Labor Day and out through the end of the period, we're going to see our temperatures gradually warming, and we're going to see some unsettled weather maybe moving in here by Labor Day, maybe a chance of some showers and thunderstorms, and that looks like that's going to be continued as we head out towards the end of the period. Again, look at this. We might be seeing temperatures getting up into the upper 80s to near 90 again, so definitely maybe some warm weather on its way, even though we're heading into September. So everyone, get out there, enjoy those last few rays of summer, and have a great week.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your Community Calendar. It's the happiest place on earth. On Monday, September 2nd, Kings Bowl on 3rd Ave will be having a Disney trivia. Kids Tribute will be held from 4 to 6 p.m. and for adults from 7 to 9 p.m. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information, call Kings Bowl at 781-238-4400. Take a trip back in history. On Thursday, September 5th at 6:30 p.m., the Burlington Historical Society will be having a presentation with speaker Sean Quigley. Quigley works at the Boston African American National Historic Site. He'll be discussing the history of the Underground Railroad. The presentation will be held at the Murray Kelly Room of the Human Services Building. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. Get yourself in shape. On Saturday, September 7th from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., CrossFit Exclamation in Burlington will be having their 3rd annual First Timers Fitness Festival. Everyone is welcome and pre-registration is required. For more information, visit crossfitexclamation.com or call 781-272-2900. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
As we gear up for our fall sports coverage of Red Devil teams, we start with a look at the BHS football team. BNews reporter Robert Paris, along with our new sports anchor Liz Gillespie, hosting the new BNews Sports Hub show, met with the head coach and a couple of captains, and has this look.
Burlington High School is gearing up for another season of fall sports. This week, we spoke to Coach McKay on the upcoming season during our new show, BNews Sports Hub with Liz Gillespie. Going into his 3rd year, McKay has been working with the players and coaching staff for the first game in September.
We've been able to figure out what we need to tweak, where we need to be better, and what we need to fix with the personnel that we have. And I think I understand and know the personnel much better going into my 3rd year. I know who all the student athletes are. I understand what they can and can't do. So us as a coaching staff, we're much better at being able to put them in a spot that's going to help them be successful.
During the offseason, the team lost a number of key players on the roster.
We lost 4 offensive linemen, we lost 3 defensive linemen, and we lost our running back. I would say that they were very good players, obviously, but our juniors who have replaced the line and our junior and senior at running back have done a phenomenal job of replacing them and picking it up and having the same kind of level of focus and intensity that those guys had. So they've proven themselves to be moving in the right direction.
The Red Devils have a somewhat different schedule as they won't be starting during the first week back to school.
This year is kind of unique because Thanksgiving is so late this year.
Yeah.
So we have an extra week this year. So we actually have a bye week next week. So so we have our game scrimmage coming up this Friday against Lowell at Burlington High School, 7 o'clock. We play it just like a game. And then we usually have our first game next week. But because the year's longer, we're actually in a bye week next week. So next week will be all about fundamentally sound. We'll do situational football, a lot of situational football next week. And then the week after is our first game week. We'll play Lawrence that first game on a Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock in Lawrence, September 14th. And then we have games every single week until we get to Thanksgiving. The week before Thanksgiving, we're off that week, and then we play Thanksgiving on the 28th. So it's an 11-game season. We're looking forward to it.
Nice.
Looking forward to get the games going. Guys have put a lot of work in, and yeah, we're excited.
Liz had a chance to speak with 2 of the captains during the show.
It's really a blast, just working with your teammates and just making a bond that no one can really break.
Yeah, for me, practice, football practice is nothing like it. It's hard. They push us hard. The coaches know how to push us, and really at the end of the day, it's a grind. But you love it, and you love playing with your brothers. So it's nothing like it.
For BNews Weekly, I'm BNews sports reporter Robert Paris.
Look for the first edition of the BNews Sports Hub this month, all about the BHS football team, starting next week. Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo, a force of nature in action. It was sent in by Linda McNamee and shows her 2 children battling wind and water during a recent trip to Niagara Falls. Thank you for the photo, Linda. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members, friends, and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNews Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Chris Flaherty, Robert Paris, Peter Brown, and Maddie Shipka. Thank you for joining us.